This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.
Stretched out to the middle, back to
Broke it up. There's a shot. They score! They score! Gerardo Fords. That's in! Rochester has the lead. And again, it's Sentinels.
Good evening and welcome into Louisville Slugger Field right here in Louisville, Kentucky on a nice humid day, although a little overcast, as Louisville City FC plays host to Orlando City B. My name's Jim Womble and I'm joined by the University of Louisville men's head coach, Ken Lola, in the booth tonight. Now Ken, what can we expect to see from the game tonight from Orlando City B's point of view?
Well, I think it's a great contest for them coming off of 7 unbeaten. It will be a good test for the young team to see really where they're at. They've had a good second half of the season. My guess is they have a healthy respect, though, for Louisville, and I'm guessing they're going to sit off a little bit and try to counter and catch them on the break. But having said that, they have a new coach in their first team that wants to set a precedent and a philosophy defensively to how they play. That might change them a little bit tonight. We'll see.
Well, because I know Louisville has 8 goals total against Orlando City B this year, 4 in the first 2 games, both of them being Louisville City wins, 4-3 in the first matchup, and then 4-1 in the latest matchup. So what can we expect to see from Louisville City? Are we going to see them score 4 goals again, or as you just mentioned, is Orlando City's defense going to put a stop to that?
Well, I think Louisville will be hungry to score goals, especially after the last outcome of being shut out in Cincinnati. My guess is they're going to create opportunities for sure. But again, I think one area that you could see that Orlando has grown over the season is they're not giving away so many goals. So it would be interesting to see, again, the philosophy that they bring in today's game as well as their growth and confidence that they have right now. But it's tough to shut Louisville out. They're tough, and they're going to create their chances. And my guess is they're going to have an opportunity or two tonight.
And, of course, we'll probably see a slightly different Louisville City lineup than we've grown accustomed to seeing because of the long season. But that's good for Louisville City, though, because of all the depth they have this season.
Clearly, when you talk to James O'Connor, he said the strength of the team is the depth that they have. And not only that they have the ability in each and every game to play different lineups, but the confidence they have in those guys to come in. It's a long season, and there's a lot of wear. And tonight you're going to see guys come in, and they're very confident in the lineup that they put in and change each and every time out. And it shows in 17 unbeaten, in between losses. So it shows that they have a lot of guys that have factored in and done very well. And I do think that tonight we'll see the depth come through for them.
And one more note, Louisville City will be without Aiden Quinn, typically the captain, as he picked up his 5th yellow card in the FC Cincinnati matchup. So he'll be replaced in the lineup by Paulo Del Piccolo, and he'll also be wearing the captain's armband. Well, Coach, it should be a fun one tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy to be joined by you in the press box tonight. But right now, before the game gets underway, we're going to get a look at tonight's starting lineups. And there they are. We'll start off with the Orlando City B starters in goal. Ridgers, who's been one of the best goalies in the league, second best in saves with 62, best in the Eastern Conference. Along the back line, Turner, Ambrose, McFadden, Matarazzo. In the midfield, Mendoza, Ribeiro, Rocha, Obekop, Smith, and then Michael Cox. And Cox is a player you said, Coach, that we should look out for.
Yeah, he's got good pace, and he can stretch the defense. We're going to have to be very aware of his pace, especially on a counter.
And then we'll get to take a look here also at the Louisville City starters. In goal, as always, Greg Ranjitsing along the back line. Noonan, Montano, Shinaski, and Reynolds. Of course, Kyle Smith, the typical starter, we'll see he's on the bench as he's had a long season. He may get in the second half. In the midfield, Paolo Del Piccolo, you know him well, Coach. He's wearing the captain's band. Guy Ben, Niall McCabe, Mark Anthony Kay, George Davis IV, and up top, second in the USL in goals this season with 14 is Chandler Hoffman. As we're mere moments away from getting this one underway, as the ref barking orders at players. Looks like Orlando City B will start off here. They're wearing the away whites, and they'll be attacking from left to right on your screen. And Louisville City in the home purples will be attacking from right to left. As hopefully, Coach, we don't have too much rain tonight, as that has been forecasted here in the first half. As we are now underway. So we'll throw in early on here for Orlando City. And we've actually got a Louisville City player down in the very early going right now, as he appears to be holding his head, and I'm not sure who that is right now. Looks like George Davis IV. And he'll get medical attention very early on. As Coach will get a look here.
Yeah, it's just stepping to get pressure, takes it right off the noggin, and they're very, very cautious about any head injuries anymore. I'm sure they're going to do due diligence and make sure that he's tuned in and aware and ready to go. The amount of Taylor Twellman is one of those guys that's speaking on behalf of the concussion studies and what's going on, and again, they're being very aware of that right now in soccer.
Of course, right now, Louisville City down a man until George Davis gets the okay. We got a Louisville City throw-in along the far side. And Davis is back in the lineup, so that's good news for Louisville City. As a Bend losing it there. Orlando City ball. As Louisville right now playing a very high line. A lot of pressure along that Orlando City back line, not making it easy to get rid of the ball. It's now Orlando City on the near side. Working with the ball. A nice move into the middle and a cross, but that's met by Noonan.
You could see early on that Orlando is also stepping up the pressure as well. The re-pressure right here, trying to keep it in their own end.
Fortunately for Louisville City, they're able to get rid of it. As McCabe looking for Mark Anthony Kay. Nice long ball, but that's broken up. Now Shinaski. Louisville switch fields over to Reynolds. Reynolds pressured. And a nice move by Montano to get away from Obekop as he was closing. So Orlando there looking for Cox, and then again, that's the player you said in the open, and when we were reading the starters, is he's got a lot of speed. Player Louisville City is going to have to watch out for.
You could see early on that first ball forward, they are looking for Cox, possibly playing in behind, but they want to play forward early.
There's a nice move there, but Montano breaking it up. And he gets that up to McCabe, who plays it off to George Davis, and he'll race towards the middle. A nice ball broken up. So he was looking for Hoffman, who was cutting towards the box. Now Orlando will try it from the far side. A nice move there. Mark Anthony Kay stepping in, went right by him. An excellent ball to the far side. Now a chance to cross off the post. Now Mark Anthony Kay has it.
Pretty impressed early with Orlando and their ability to move the ball and avoid the pressure that Louisville's putting on them. Louisville's playing a pretty high line and trying to press them early.
So now Montano along this near side. He sends a cross. That nutmegs the defender. But again, that play broken up by Orlando City. And that ball played all the way back to the keep. As Del Piccolo got a foot on it and hit it up to Davis. Beck, play to the middle, so now backtracking as a bend, applying a lot of pressure. Hoffman McCabe in the area as well. And the 6th minute here, still scoreless. No teams with really many chances. Nothing challenging the keepers yet.
Both teams are playing very organized, very good shape. It's going to be tough to break them down. Very disciplined. You can see why both teams, especially in recent games, have not been giving up a ton of goals.
As we'll get a look at that last chance for Orlando City. And again, there's that one off the post. It was a nice ball movement and a nice idea by Ribeiro. And now we'll get a free kick here. Of course, this is typically where Aiden Quinn would step in and take it. And now we've got a couple players standing over it.
My guess is Paolo will serve it. He's dangerous on the free kicks. He serves a very good ball. And traditionally, this is where Louisville is difficult to handle.
As Del Piccolo does take it, that cross broken up. Not out of danger yet. The attempted bicycle by a bend. That coming up with nothing as he missed the ball entirely. And Orlando City comes out unscathed as there was Del Piccolo guiding that one out of bounds, as I believe that was Mendoza racing in. Now he's down on the pitch.
You know, one of the things to look for on Louisville's restarts is not always the first ball. I think what Louisville does a tremendous job of is shaping the 18 to make sure that they're in position for second balls. They have some guys that are very good in the air and they have some very good service, but it's not always the first ball that does the damage. It's many times the second ball that they have some success on, and it was indicative even there, the half chance on the second ball that came out. They're very good at that.
I was right there. We just got to look at that last play, and when Del Piccolo was coming down, his cleat hit the top of Mendoza's head. So understandably, Mendoza's going to step off for a couple of minutes. Make sure he's all right, and that's the second contact to the head we've seen today so far. As for the moment, Orlando City will be down a man. There's Kay stepping in, trying to break that one up, and Louisville City will clear it downfield. And they're now back to full strength, and Louisville City will have a throw-in along that far side. And there's Cox applying pressure as Reynolds got rid of it early, and Montano plays it up. Again, broken up by Orlando City. That's Mendoza playing a nice ball wide. And Noonan steps in to break that one up for Louisville City.
Again, early on, you can see the re-pressure from Orlando is causing Louisville to give the ball back to them. I'm pretty impressed that they're stepping up high in the transition of the game and winning some balls back, and there Louisville's doing the same. As
Hoffman plays that one back to Del Piccolo, that thanks to the pressure by McCabe. Now Davis, he'll send that cross in all the way to the other side to Kay, and he tries to head it back in the middle. Again, Orlando City not giving Louisville City any chances. It's McCabe and Kay working together on that far side. And falls back to a bend, and they'll kind of restart. Now McCabe again. And he'll send a ball in. Davis settles it. He'll take a shot, and that's saved by Ridgers.
A good sequence, and again, the sequence comes off of the re-pressure from Louisville. They win a ball in the attacking half, and off of that, keep the pressure on and end up getting a pretty good chance, probably the best one of the game.
So again, Louisville City still employing that high line. So again, they were looking for Cox along this near side.
As long as Louisville continues to play that high line, I would guess that they're going to continue to play some balls forward. You know, they have Smith and Cox that are big boys up top that can hold the ball and allow people to get around. And I think as long as Louisville continues to put the pressure on, they're going to be a little bit more direct in that first ball.
There's Montano. And again, Cox applying a lot of pressure of himself. He also playing a very high line. Louisville City working along that far side. Noonan plays it in. McKay, and he plays it back. Another ball sent in, and George Davis off the shoulder settles it. Back to Montano. Del Piccolo. Over to Reynolds. And again, Davis with a little bit of space. He'll try another shot, takes a deflection, and Louisville City will get the first corner of the match.
It was a great ball by Reynolds into Davis, and the key for that is Davis takes it on that back foot and gets on a half turn and drives it at the back four. Finding those spaces in between the lines is going to be key because, again, they're very organized. Orlando's done a very good job of compressing the space, but that was a great ball and gave him a great chance to get at the back four.
As it's another Louisville City corner kick presented by Falls City Beer. And Del Piccolo standing over this one. And he sends this one in the box. And that's met by Orlando City, and will be another corner kick.
Again, one of the things to see about Louisville on all the restarts is not just the first, but how many second chances they get. Again, good service here, good pressure in the box. They get another chance, another free kick, another corner out of it.
That's Del Piccolo again will line this one up. Sends it in again. He's got a bend there. A bend with the header. And that one went in. Louisville City up 1-0. And off of a beautiful ball played by Del Piccolo, Louisville City continuing their offensive dominance against Orlando City, as that's the 9th goal in 3 games against Orlando City B.
Coming off a restart, good service by Paolo into the box, and he just goes up and wins it. It's a one-on-one battle, and he just was determined, and the will and strength of him to power it home.
As we'll get another look at here, Coach.
He loses them early on. Again, they have almost a scrum there on the top. It's tough to follow him, and a little bit of space that he gets there, he makes them pay. It's a good header, heads it down as well. Tough for the keeper to handle that.
Is now off the restart is Orlando City. And Louisville City gets it back again. Is now Davis, and he's got a little bit of room, and he gets rid of it as 3 guys surrounded him. So now in the 14th minute here, Louisville City going up 1-0 over OCB. As Obeko keeps the ball in, but Montano with the pressure wins it for Louisville City. As there's a look at a bend again on beautiful header off a even better pass from Del Piccolo. Looking for Mark Anthony Kay there, unable to get it, but McCabe's in the air. Hoffman. And he plays it wide to Noonan. Noonan saves it. Dancing with the ball now, waiting for a little bit of support. Plays a short ball, trying to get Del Piccolo, and somehow manages to hold on to the ball. And Louisville City will hold on to the ball here with the throw-in. I'm not really sure how Paolo held on to that one. Now there's Michael Cox with the move, but Chinaski's there, and both players take a tumble.
I think Cox is a little bit disappointed in that call. He probably thought he wasn't the one that was causing the contact early, but the foul goes for Louisville's favor.
It's now Chinaski. He'll be lining this one up. And he's got Mark Anthony Kay down there. McCabe also in the area. That one cleared by Orlando City.
It'll be interesting to see how Orlando handles this going down early, and how they figure out how to get back into the game, because they really haven't had too much possession since the early part of the game. That one chance they had off the post early.
Again, a long ball looking for Kay once again. Of course, as you mentioned in the open, Orlando City's defense has been tough to beat of late. And Ridgers, again, 63 saves on the season. Still second in the league, first in the Eastern Conference. So he's obviously been an excellent keeper for Orlando City. OCB now working on this near side again, broken up by Montano. Del Piccolo. Back to Reynolds. Reynolds pressured. It'll be a throw-in for Louisville City. We'll have a whistle there, and I believe that'll be a foul against Orlando City as Del Piccolo fouled. Keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about the USL and its 29 teams. It's now Chinaski. Mark Anthony Kay again. Working on that far side. He's got 2 guys around him. With a smart pass back to a bend, and Louisville City will restart. Now try from the left side. And they're forced to regain the attack. And now George Davis has some space. He'll take another shot, deflected. Falls back to Noonan. Now Montano. And heads up play by Obeko to break that open.
Clearly, their best chances are coming when George Davis gets into that space in between the lines and he gets on that half turn and can drive it at him. Again, Shinosky played a great ball in there. He catches it on that back foot. And George has been very, very aware of those spaces, and the timing's been very good. I know that's something that James O'Connor is enjoying seeing early.
Well, it's a complete turnaround from the first couple games of the season, as the problem Louisville City was having on the offensive side is not enough guys were just taking shots when they had a little bit of chance just to pressure the keeper. It's now Orlando City with maybe a chance as Montano tripping up over the ball. And he eventually settles it and clears it over to Davis, but again, not quite out of danger. So we have another whistle. And another foul here going against Orlando City.
See James giving some instructions there on the sidelines, and I think the movement up top to play those balls into space, I think, is one of the things that he's looking for a little bit more. That movement to play into McCabe and Chandler and playing off of them a little bit more.
As again, George Davis there involved in that attack, unable to get the give and go with McCabe. A long throw in. Again, Louisville City with the ball. McCabe, if he can hold on to it. And Louisville City will reset, but a nice break and maybe a counter for Orlando City, but nice recovery by Louisville City. Although now here's a chance, it's a nice ball, but Noonan was there to break up that cross. Mark Anthony Kay stepping in there to win it for Louisville City. And another foul going against Orlando City.
Orlando's just struggling to find a rhythm. Not able to string too many passes together. You give Louisville City some credit for their pressure and not allowing them to play, but you can see they haven't been able to mount anything going forward.
As again, another long ball played by Louisville City, trying to find Mark Anthony Kay. Is now a number of times they've played that long ball up to Kay and starting the attack on that far side. Oh, now some nice combination passing from Louisville City. And that ball played out wide to Noonan. And he'll play it up to Kay. Now back to a bend. We'll play it to Del Piccolo. It's now Montano with a bit of space. He's got George Davis with him. He'll use him. Louisville City being very patient on this play. As now Montano will get the cross in, broken up by Orlando City. As now here's a deep ball, looking for Michael Cox. He'll get onto the end of it. He's got one man to beat. Reynolds stands strong and saves the ball from going out of bounds. And he's getting a huge round of applause, well deserved for that play.
It was good recovery by Reynolds and very good 1v1 defending. I think for Orlando, that's probably as good as it's going to look for them, and it has so far, is that 1v1 in the box with Cox, and I'm sure they were hoping for a little bit more out of that, but Reynolds did a great job of standing him up and winning the ball.
So we'll get another look at that here, and again, there's, as you said, Reynolds actually touching it twice on that play. Got his foot on it initially and then ended up clearing it.
Now, the game is kind of progressing as you would think. Louisville's got a little bit more possession going, and they're playing in Orlando's end more and more, and Orlando is trying to live off the counter. It's a dangerous way to play for Orlando.
As again, Mark Anthony Kay and George Davis, nice little 1-2 pass combination, as it's another Louisville City corner kick presented by Falls City Beer, and both Noonan and Del Piccolo standing over this one. Noonan will take it, and Richards comes off his line. A nice pursuit, able to stay with the ball as he plays it deep again. As Obeko, it's there, but met by Reynolds in the air. It's now Montano. Over to a bend. Nice little back heel pass from McCabe. OCB breaks it up again, though. Although Louisville City recovering nicely on the defensive end, not really allowing Orlando City too many counter chances.
Yeah, it's a repressure. You know, they're having sustained possession in the attacking half, and then when they lose it, they're repressuring really well. And Orlando is, you can see the frustration mounting because they have very little success in keeping the ball and getting the ball forward. There's been very little possession in Louisville's half, and I give a lot of credit, especially to the two central midfielders. Paolo and Guy are doing a great job of just stepping and putting pressure on them and not allowing them to play.
There's a bend there, playing it to Montano. And a poor pass there as both Hoffman and Davis were in the vicinity but broken up. As another long ball played, and Cox is there. And he's got Reynolds on him. Reynolds not making it easy. And Cox will lose it as George Davis stepping in.
Getting the rhythm of it seems to be one long ball forward for Orlando, and then if Cox is not getting it done on his own, they give up possession, and Louisville's wearing on him.
There's now maybe a chance here for Orlando as they've got a bit of space now. A nice ball played in, but Ranjitsingh is there, no trouble at all. But again, I guess you like to see that from Orlando City, at least something to make Ranjitsingh work.
Well, I think it's going to come off the counter. You know, if they win a ball and can get forward, it's very individual right now. There's not too much sustained possession.
As Mendoza, and he'll play that ball back. The shot, that one off the post. And they'll say that's a corner kick for Orlando City. I believe it went off Ranjitsingh's hand.
A little bit undisciplined in Louisville, giving a ball away twice now in their own half, and almost paying for it on the second one. That the ability for Orlando to pick up a ball and you know only have about 50 yards to go to goal is very valuable, and again almost made them pay there.
As that was Keegan Smith on the shots. We'll get another look at that here, Coach.
I think he might have got a touch to it.
And Louisville City perhaps fortunate the post was there, as we'll have a whistle here in the box. And the ref having some words with some players. As Turner lines this one up for Orlando. And he sends the ball in. A couple players going down. That'll be a foul going against Orlando, as I believe Michael Cox pulling a Louisville City player down.
Definitely physical in the box when they're playing man-to-man like that, of not letting them get any room, any space, and it's interesting to see what is a foul and what isn't in the box. There's so much holding going on so many times, and it's interpretation of the referee. So all you can do is play the whistle.
As Smith and Cox running into each other there, both looking at each other confused, blaming the other one. That ball played back to Reynolds, and he had to get rid of it quickly. It's a nice recovery by Cox to keep the ball here in this end. Now played back to Ranjitsingh. The 28th minute here, Louisville City still up 1-0 over Orlando. And Louisville with the lion's share of possession in the game so far. Now Obeko. He's got space along this near side. He's got Reynolds to beat. Reynolds again. Excellent one-on-one defense. Wins the ball back for Louisville City and prevents the attack from mustering any shot attempt on goal. It's now Mark Anthony Kay, if he can get to it, can't. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive news and interactive content. Follow at USL on Twitter to keep up with all of the live action during the 2016 USL season. And of course, all USL matches are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Follow the action on the USL YouTube channel. Once again, Jim Womble joined here by University of Louisville head coach Ken Lola. And right now witnessing a bit of a one-sided matchup right now as Orlando City can't seem to string any passes together.
Just recently they started to step the line a little bit higher, causing a little bit more difficulty for Louisville to play out, and now they're having one of their best possessions of the game right now.
So try and work along that near side is trying to work with Mendoza. Reynolds pressured. Montano just able to get rid of it. But again, the re-pressure that Louisville City's been so successful with is now maybe a chance of Smith. He's in on it. But Ranjinsing's there to stop the play.
Clearly one of their best sequences of the game. It's coming off of Louisville cheaply giving the ball back earlier on and allowing them to get pressure higher up the field because of that. Louisville's got to get back to moving the ball a little bit quicker. Couple of sequences, couple of plays there where they haven't been able to simply connect it. They've given the ball away way too cheaply, and now Orlando's gaining a little bit more of the game because of it.
It's really perhaps the last 5 minutes or so, Orlando City having the majority of the chances. It's now Ranjinsing.
You can see the line for Orlando is just a little bit higher, just not allowing them to play out of the back and get any rhythm. And it's just disrupted them just a little bit.
There's Mark Anthony Kay there drawing the foul, as we'll get another look at that last chance for Orlando City here. There again, it was Reynolds getting a foot on it, and that actually led to the chance for Smith.
Yeah, just a little bit of a heavy touch there for Smith. Otherwise, it would have been a really dangerous situation for Louisville.
It's now Montano playing that one up to Hoffman. And I'll leave it back to Montano. And a bad pass there is now Orlando City. Maybe with the counter is Michael Cox. He's got space. One man to beat is Shinoski. And he's dancing with it, but again, unable to do much with it. Shinoski's position was excellent. And if you're Michael Cox and if you're Orlando, you'd like to see maybe a better opportunity on goal.
And again, it was Guy Bend who didn't take care of the ball in the midfield, gave one away a little bit too easily, and it sets up Orlando for the counter. In the midfield, especially between Paolo and Guy, they got to take care of the ball and get it moving. It's when they give it away a little bit too easily that it gives Orlando that chance on the counter. And with Cox, we've seen it enough times that he's physical, has enough pace that he can be dangerous 1v1.
It was off the goal kick, and we got another whistle here. This time, foul going against Louisville City. Now Orlando City getting a bit of a rhythm, particularly in the possession and on offense. Although yet to get too many shots on goal, challenging Ranjinsing. It's now a bend. Plays it short to Del Piccolo. Louisville City again working from the back line. Forced to play it all the way back to Ranjinsing, and he'll play another long ball. Looking for Mark Anthony Kay again. He stays with it, but Orlando breaking it up, and Mark Anthony Kay called for the foul. Off the quick restart. It's now a Beckup playing it over to Cox. Cox has Noonan there, a shot, and his first real shot on goal with any power behind it. but Ranjitsingh is there for the save. It's now Davis. He's got 3 guys around him, and he's forced to play it back. It's now a bend. Louisville City very patient right now, looking to find any holes in this Orlando defense. Now Montano, he's got Hoffman. I'll play it back to McCabe. It's now Montano to Del Piccolo. And that ball, too much pace. McCabe unable to get to the end of his. Here's another look at Michael Cox's last attempt. Perhaps credit there to Noonan.
Yeah, Orlando starts getting a little bit more possession, a few more chances. The last possession for Louisville had some good looks to it, but again, giving it away a little bit too easily on that last pass by Paolo. Good idea, but just a little bit too strong in the pass. They need to continue to get a hold of the ball, and they're so much better of a team when the ball moves early and they have good possession. I'm a little bit disappointed that George Davis has disappeared in the game. We haven't seen him quite enough recently. He's been sitting out wide, hasn't come in underneath, and they really haven't found him. Early on when they found him, they were very dangerous in getting at the back four. It just hasn't happened enough.
As again, Michael Cox drawing a foul there as Shinaski going over the top. And now a dangerous position. There's a couple players standing over this for Orlando. As Turner.
It's in a tough spot here because you don't know whether it's going to be a service or a shot. For the keeper, this is a tough spot that you're playing a little bit of both. You got to play it honest and honor the shot, but also know there could be a service coming in.
So both Turner and Matarazzo standing over this one. And there is the whistle. And Turner will take this one. A nice light touch, but Montano there to break it up. Although here's another chance. Although I believe Smith would have been offside if he had tried to play that ball. It's now maybe a counter chance here for Louisville City off the nice pass by Ranjitsingh, but Noonan unable to get it up to Hoffman. Good Lord, what a stiff arm that was, sending Noonan to the ground. Looks like he ran into a brick wall. It's Davis with the extra effort. This might pay off for him as he's got a bit of space. One man to beat. A couple guys in the box. He's taken down. And this won't be a penalty, but it'll be just outside the box.
Davis earned that. He did a really good job of winning the ball and being a very good first defender, and in that used his pace to drive out the defense and create this opportunity for them to create the foul in a good spot, really good spot for a free kick here. We'll see if they can take advantage of it.
So again, we'll have a couple players lining up with eyes on the prize, if you will, as McCabe and Del Piccolo both standing over this one. As there's the whistle, McCabe will take it, and Ridgers with an excellent save to prevent that one from going upper 90, but an excellent kick by McCabe.
It was a really good hit by McCabe and equal to the task. The keeper does a great job of just getting a hand to it. Not only getting a hand to it, but getting it off the field so it's out of danger.
There's another look at that again. Ridgers had to be good there as it's another Louisville City corner kick presented by Falls City Beer. It's now Noonan. He has Del Piccolo there short, and he'll play it short. And Louisville City will get a throw in out of there.
With their success in the box, I'm a little bit surprised that they don't just get it in the box. They scored one already that way. I know that James probably has some ideas of drawing them out, but boy, they had a pretty good look early. I think they would take advantage of that again.
As Mark Anthony Kay putting the moves on, gets a cross in. Davis is there. He's got it. Now chance, but broken up by Orlando City. As perhaps Davis a little bit slow once he got the ball. If he'd just taken a chance. And he's again frustrated with himself.
Just couldn't get it off his feet. Really good first touch, but just couldn't get it off his feet and get a shot off. What a good ball here. Just get stuck underneath him. He can't get it out in front of him enough to hit it.
There's again a beautiful ball played by Mark Anthony Kay and a beautiful move to get the space. There's another corner kick here. It's Del Piccolo sends the cross in, broken up. It's not out of danger yet, though. It's Montano. And now Orlando will clear it.
One of the impressive things, again, about their corner kicks and restarts is how many second chances they get off of it. Louisville's really good about repressuring, putting themselves in a good spot to either win possession and get back at them or even getting a second chance.
That's Montano. It's now in the 40th minute here. Louisville still up 1-0. As Louisville seems to gotten back into control of this game with much better play and possession on the offensive side. A nice ball played to Davis. Davis, the cross. Too far for anybody as Kay was in the area. Louisville City will stay with it. It's now a chance, and they'll get another corner kick out of this one.
Davis visibly upset by the ball. He knew he had a good chance. If he had played that ball on the ground in behind, they would have had a good opportunity on goal. It was a wonderful setup, but he just didn't deliver.
As Louisville City taking that very quickly. As Del Piccolo with the cross. Kay's there. Doesn't quite get ahead on it. And now Orlando can't really do much with it as Gaia Bend and Montano were applying some pressure. And Orlando unable to get much of a counterattack started. As Davis the last couple minutes causing troubles. Now Mark Anthony Kay. He's got options. McCabe, he's all alone. Nice move. The shot, and Ridgers coming up huge with the save once again. Denying McCabe.
What a great counter that was. He won a ball in midfield. Kay plays a great ball to McCabe, but he gets back to his right foot, his favorite foot, and just doesn't hit well enough to beat the keeper.
As again, Ridgers coming up huge as now. That's a couple of massive saves. Again, earlier on that free kick from McCabe, he denied. And again, that one just there, as you mentioned a couple minutes before now that Davis had kind of disappeared. He seems to have reemerged all of a sudden, as he's been involved in all of these recent chances for Louisville City. It's a nice ball played from a bend to Kay, and he's got space along that far side. A nice move. He gets into the box. Played to Hoffman. Settles. The shot off the post. And again, Louisville City has now another chance. It didn't go out. Another shot saved. My goodness. There's a nice series there. And we'll have a whistle here going against Reynolds.
There's a wrestling match going on all game long between Cox and either one of the center backs for Louisville. He's a lot to handle, and there's certainly going to be contact when they're playing forward, and he got the better of it that time.
We got a yellow card there going against Reynolds. Again, there's another look at this one. McCabe, unfortunate. But Hoffman with the heads-up play there. He got the ball back and created another chance. And I didn't catch the defender who saved it, as Ridgers was not anywhere near that ball. But very fortunate as number 15, Sean Reynolds, again with that yellow card, is he tripped up Michael Cox, who perhaps a heads-up foul there, as Michael Cox, if it was off to the races, my money's on Cox.
Well, especially up midfield there. He's got good pace, and I think Reynolds was just trying to tie him up, and probably a little bit too much for the referee's liking.
In the 44th minute here. As that ball played in the box, Shinaski heads it out. Another ball played in. Montano really torqued his body to head that ball out. Although still sticking with Orlando, Smith unable to get ahead on that one. Again, the work from that far side. There's another ball played in. Ranjitsingh comes off his line, doesn't get it. Not out of danger yet. And now maybe the counter on for Louisville City as McCabe nutmegs the defender, and he's taken down. Will be another foul here.
Smart foul, quite honestly. Yeah, I thought that Louisville being on a break there, Orlando City stopped the counter by taking the foul. A little bit surprised it wasn't a yellow card as well, because it prevented a chance in the end.
Once again, there was a look as Ranjitsingh did come off his line, but didn't get much on the ball. And now the ref having words with a couple of players there. It's Del Piccolo. Probably wondering why there wasn't a card on that play, as McCabe definitely had his man beat. Montano. Nice back pass from McCabe, looking for Davis, and now full head of steam Zobekbo. Couple players to beat. Leaves it off to Smith. Now to Mendoza. Mendoza with the shot, and that one never had a chance, but excellent idea, as he had the space and the opportunity.
Well, again, Orlando is living off the counter. They're pretty good at going forward. They have some pace. They have ability to create some chances in open space. And for Louisville, that's the one area I think at halftime that James is going to be talking to him about, is how do you prevent that? One is by taking care of the ball a little bit better, and second is the repressure.
As we'll get about a minute of stoppage time here. And Louisville City maybe time for one more chance as Mark Anthony Kay again. Now Del Piccolo to Davis. Davis holding onto this ball wisely. And he tried his chances. It'll fall back to him. Now Montano playing it to Del Piccolo, and they'll try and get Davis again. And Turner will guide that one out of bounds. Should be a goal kick, and that should about do it here for the first half. And there is the final whistle of the half, as Louisville City up 1-0 thanks to the beautiful header by Guy Bend off the Paulo Del Piccolo corner. Coach, if you were Poulos right now, what would you be telling your team heading into the locker room?
Well, I would say that number one, you gotta disrupt the play for Louisville, and I thought there was a period of time where they forced Louisville to be a little bit more direct. It came off of Ridger's feet a little bit more and not allowing them to play. When they did that, they disrupted the play and created some counter chances for them, and I think that's the big thing, is you got to continue to disrupt Louisville.
As again, it was an excellent first half here at Louisville Slugger Field. Again, Louisville City FC leading this 1-0 heading into the locker room. We'll be back with first half highlights in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us here on the USL channel on YouTube.
especial. I'd also like to thank our corporate partners that include Falls City Beer, Beer Nose, Schuler Bauer, Louisville International Airport, Blairwood Tennis Swim and Fitness, and Tony Boombox. Louisville City FC would like to say a special thank you to our corporate partners that include Louisville Geek, Hometown Pizza, Window World, Great Clips, and Caldwell Banker McMahon and the Beat Foundation. It's time for the WLKY Lightning Round with Ben Nuno. Take it away, Fred Calvin.
WLKY presents a Louisville City Lightning Round.
Red or blue? iPhone or Android? Basketball or baseball? Basketball. Star Wars or Red Knights? Star Wars. Messi or Ronaldo? Messi. Ben Nuno or Calvin or
Fans, 5 match ticket packs to Louisville City FC games are now available. Purchase tickets to 5 games that remain to support your Louisville City Football Club. For more information, please log on to LouisvilleCityFC.com.
Welcome back into Louisville Slugger Field. Here is Louisville City FC up 1-0 over Orlando City at the break. Once again, Jim Womble joined by Ken Lola, and we're going to take a look here at the first half highlights as we saw a number of chances. And we'll start off there's unfortunately a little technical difficulty there. Again, there's a look at the goal. Again, it was a Del Piccolo excellent corner kick. And Gaia Ben, as you mentioned, we'll get another look here.
Combination of the zonal guy, the one free guy, not doing a good enough job, but also the marker lost him early on, and Guy does a great job of heading it down.
And there was another look as one of Orlando City's chances as Mendoza getting the shot, but no trouble at all for Ranjitsing. And again here, as that one actually requiring a touch by Ranjitsing, as it was another excellent chance as Keegan Smith. And there was Michael Cox, and that's the player Coach, you talked about at the beginning of the game that might give Louisville City the most problems. And here's a look at that stiff arm late in the first half. And here was the player that was probably the most important for Louisville City in the first half. It was George Davis IV.
Yeah, I thought when they came inside, they were very dangerous, him and Kay. Great save by the keeper there. Rangers does a great job of reading it and getting a hand to it.
And there's Mark Anthony Kay with a beautiful move. And he played it to George Davis IV and unable to really settle it enough to get a chance. Of course, there were a couple defenders in his way. As here was an excellent counter as Mark Anthony Kay. He had options, and he played it to McCabe. And again, McCabe was stopped by Ridgers, and he's upset at the ref. He thought he got fouled. He wanted the penalty.
Still had a good enough look to put it away.
As Mark Anthony Kay again, as a lot of balls played through him, as here's McCabe again, stopped by the post, but Hoffman with a heads-up play played it back in, and George Davis IV unable to get the shot actually on goal as a defender stepping in with an excellent touch to prevent that from going in goal. And there's a look at the stats there, and that probably tells pretty much the story of the game, as the 9 shots to Orlando City's 6, and including 4 on goal to Orlando City's 3. But really, the interesting stat that I would have loved to have seen is the possession percentage, as Louisville City for probably, what would you say, 35 of the 45 minutes dominated possession.
Yeah, I think that was a key part of them and having success in the first half. But, you know, the one statistic that's not up there that I would like to see is how many possessions they've won in the attacking half. Because I think when they've
Well, there we go. Sorry about that again, as nearly blew our eardrums out there, as I had a little static in the headset. But we're all settled and ready to go here, as you see the players get a last-minute warm-up and last-minute huddle for Louisville City, as we're probably a minute or so from the start of the second half. But you were getting ready to say, what was the stat you would have really loved to see that they really did? I don't know if they really even keep track of.
Well, how many possessions they win in the attacking half, and their best attacks have come off of that. One, it starts with sustained possession that you can play in the attacking half, but when the ball turns over, how quickly you can win it back. And I think Louisville's been most dangerous when they've won the balls higher up the field and in transition, being able to stay after Orlando and create better chances. And I think that's going to be a key for them in the second half.
As I think we had a couple of changes for Louisville City, as I believe I saw Cameron Lancaster. He's starting the second half. I'm not sure at the moment who replaced. Also, Kadeem Dakers in the lineup. Looks like he replaced Mark Anthony Kay, if I'm not mistaken, and I believe Niall McCabe's night is done as Cameron Lancaster, his replacement.
Yes, sir.
As again, Kadeem Dakers is a player that you notice if he gets the ball on the right side of the field, very dangerous in one-on-one situations.
We know that well. When Louisville, University of Louisville played them in the spring, he had the game winner. We lost 1-0, and he came in the second half and cut inside and buried it with his left foot. He's very dynamic, very quick, and certainly he adds to the game when he comes in.
As Louisville City again in the home purples, they're now attacking from left to right on your screen, and Orlando City in the away whites from right to left. As again, something you'll notice with Lancaster, as one of the other changes Louisville City made, is he's also very good on one-on-one play. Look for him to challenge the keeper from virtually anywhere. Is really, as soon as he steps on the field, he's in range.
I spoke to James O'Connor earlier today just about the team, and he had a lot of good things to say about Lancaster. He said he, given the time, could be one of the better attacking players in the league, which speaks highly of him and his ability.
And again, another player also we talked a lot about in the first half for Louisville City is Kadeem Dakers there, heading the ball out wide, trying to work with Noonan, was Sean Reynolds. He picked up his 5th yellow card, so he won't be available for the next match for Louisville City. So unfortunate for them, but he was the one player that gave Michael Cox the most trouble.
There were a couple of plays that he made, 1v1 defending that diffused some very dangerous situations, and I know he'll be missed in the next game, and much needed, I think, as the game goes on here.
As we got another Louisville City throw in here, working from the back line. There's another look at Reynolds, again, a very important player for Louisville City. It's now Shinoski. Forced to play back to Ranjitsingh.
And I think this is effective for Orlando, that they force this first long ball and not allow Louisville to get in a rhythm. And I think this is to Orlando's benefit.
As Lancaster ends up with it and takes the shot, as it started with Dakers heading it back, and I believe Hoffman able to settle it a little bit, and it fell to Lancaster. As we'll get another look at that one here.
Poorly headed ball back into the middle, and Lancaster almost takes advantage of it. And, it was certainly a dangerous situation. Probably could have done better with it.
So now Orlando going to lose the ball here as a poor pass as they were trying to get it to Michael Cox. That throw-in finds Lancaster. So he was looking for George Davis, and now Obeko on the far side. And he'll switch fields, find Smith. Smith with the shot, but Ranjitsingh is there. No problems at all for the Louisville City defense. But a good attack early for Orlando as we've got a player down. And there's another look at there again. Smith with just enough space to get that shot off. Again, not sure who I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, is Obeko down on the ground right now. And I'll give the players a chance to get some water and a little bit of a break.
I think Smith a little bit disappointed that he didn't catch all of the ball on that. It looked like he hit the ground a little bit, just didn't catch it all. But one of those opportunities from distance where he can hit it on his right foot. And well, Louisville's got to be careful about giving him chances from distance like that, because he can hit it.
So again, still receiving attention. Looks like they're working on that right leg. Don't know if that's just cramps or something else, but he's being helped up. And he's you can see a little bit of a gimp as he's walking over to the sideline. And we'll see if he's able to come back on. This play should resume here shortly, as now Orlando temporarily down a man. Looks like he'll... So we'll see if his night is really done or if he's going to come back on. Well, that's a player Orlando would hate to lose, as he's been very effective in the attack, especially along that right side. Now Ranjitsingh, and looks like he'll be forced to play a long ball. He's looking for Dakers, and Dakers actually draws the foul.
I think clearly that's the game plan for Orlando in the second half, is to force the keeper to have to hit it and not allow them to develop any rhythm. But the danger in that is his second balls, which caused a pretty good chance for Lancaster early on, and then restarts. The Louisville's very, very effective on restarts. We've said this before, and this is a danger.
There's both Del Piccolo and Noonan standing over this one, as Obeko walked back onto the field. So both teams are full strength, and again, waiting for the whistle, and there it is. Del Piccolo will take it. And Orlando player actually headed that one, and will be a corner kick to Louisville City. This is another Louisville City corner kick presented by Falls City Beer. There's a couple players were there in the vicinity, Guy Ben being one of them. As Louisville unable to do anything with the corner there, but Daker's there to break up the counter for Orlando.
It was interesting to see how Orlando handled that last corner, because clearly they were setting up for the counter. Rather than sending two guys to the ball, they sent them high, and were hoping for the counter and maybe drawing some of Louisville City guys out of it. But Louisville played a short corner, didn't get enough out of it, really.
And again, Daker's fortunate for Louisville City was there. Is now Mendoza. He's got a bit of space. Plays the ball to Smith. Smith unable to keep it in and frustrated as he slams his hand against the turf. And we'll also have a substitution here for Orlando. There's again another Orlando player. It might be Obekbo again down. And perhaps his night will be done.
I don't think he ever really recovered from that that initial injury. I don't think it was a contact injury. It looked like he might have twisted his knee, his ankle, but he didn't recover enough to continue on.
Again, his night is indeed done. And it looks like he was replaced. We'll have that in just a moment by, I believe, number 62, if I'm not mistaken, David Lorea. We'll get confirmation of that in just a moment. So another deep ball played by Orlando. Ranjitsing forced to come off his line, and perhaps Cox a little fortunate he didn't get called for a foul, as he definitely hit his leg. And Davis, an excellent dummy. It's a race. Can't quite get to it. As McFadden coming all the way from midfield to knock that ball into the stands. As that was indeed 62, David Lorea coming in. Is now a beautiful ball played to Lancaster. Puts the move on. Doesn't get any space, and the shot takes a flexion. Is now Lorea involved for the first time. He can't control it. Guy Bend upset with the ref there, as that foul going against him, the Orlando ball.
Again, could have been a yellow card there. Wasn't a vicious foul by any means, but stopped the counter. Good foul for Louisville to stop the play and allow Louisville to get numbers behind it.
As we're in the 56th minute here, again, Louisville City up 1-0. Over Orlando. As Turner waiting for the ref's whistle. As once again, he's talking to a few players in the box. Now Turner. He'll send that one in. Met by a Louisville City player in the air, and Ranjitsing scoops it up out of the sky.
If there's two things for Louisville they want to prevent, one is the counter, and two is fouling in their own end, because it gives Orlando one ball into the box. If you're forcing them to have possession, sustained possession to get a chance, they haven't been great at it.
It's now Dakers. He's got Lancaster. Lancaster with a nice turn. He's trying to play that to either Hoffman or Davis, but not enough on the ball. Montano stepping in. All the pressure to win it back for Louisville City, and the ball poked out of bounds. As Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. As Montano off the throw and sends it in. Ridger slips. Dakers has it. Can't quite do anything with it. Hoffman was there as well. Falls back to Davis. A bend tries it from distance, and he's wide.
Well, you wonder how much the turf has to play, because twice there I thought the goalkeeper as well as one of the defenders slipping in the box there, and maybe just not used to the turf and maybe not having the right footwear, but both of them slipped just enough to almost create chances.
As Ridgers off the goal kick only gets as far as Dakers. So again, Dakers unable to really settle that ball to create much of a chance. So now Orlando. Nice series of passing, and Larea just able to get rid of that one. And they'll switch fields, but Shinosky is there for Louisville City. As now Mendoza forced to play it all the way back. Again, they'll switch fields. And Louisville City's continuing that high line until Piccolo gets a touch in that. A little bit of kickball between the two sides right now as Davis just able to keep that one in. So we're nearing the 60th minute here. Again, Louisville City still up 1-0 over Orlando. Again, Jim Womble joined by University of Louisville head coach Ken Lola.
Again, you can see how much of the attack is simply coming off of Ranjit Singh's kicks. They're really not allowing Louisville to build out of, and it's forcing Louisville to play a little bit more direct, at least looking for second and knockdown, and perhaps gaining some possession and second chances off of that.
As Turner was momentarily down on the ground, but he gets up on his own accord. Orlando with a series of passes. Now Mendoza, a nice through ball to Smith, but Noonan with a nice recovery. Not out of danger yet though. Shinosky just getting enough on it. Falls back to Orlando. Mendoza taken down.
Looked like he was offsides. Mendoza's been a handful out there. Every time that he's gotten a little bit of space and some time to run out the defender, he's done a pretty good job. And again, in transition, they have some guys that can get at you, given some space and time.
Again, Mendoza perhaps a little upset. He thought he was fouled, that he deserved the penalty there. Once again, Ranjit Singh off the restart. He'll be forced to play this one long. On a deep high ball. And Noonan, a nice series of passes, broken up though by Mendoza, but Dakers crashing in with a slide tackle. And Louisville City will get it back. Lancaster with the heavy touch. Now Orlando is Larea. He's got a bit of space, but Reynolds again coming up huge, sticking his foot in to win it back. And now the counter for Louisville City as George Davis has space. He's got a couple of guys with him. Nice series of moves. Is he going to do it himself? No, he plays it off to Dakers. Orlando now have a chance to recovery. A beautiful ball played. Played back again as Montano was playing it back to Hoffman, and Hoffman just unable to control it.
What a great ball. I think everybody was expecting him to play it across the face of the goal, and he cut it back. And it was absolutely the right ball, but I think it might have fooled Chandler a little bit as well.
That's unfortunate there, as we'll get another look at that. Again, starting with George Davis.
And Davis plays a great piercing ball in behind the defense, and this cutback, and it just lost his footing a little bit, maybe again because of the turf, but it was exactly the right ball. Caught everybody off guard, and Chandler just couldn't arrange his feet enough to get the shot off.
And again, Hoffman, second in the USL in goals. He's got 14 on the season, one behind Jack Medine of LA Galaxy 2. who's got 15 on the season. Of course, they used to be teammates over there at Los Dos.
I'll tell you what, I give Orlando a lot of credit because from probably about the 35th minute on, they made a decision to disrupt Louisville's play, and they've done that by making them play direct.
As Michael Cox, finally beating Reynolds, loses his balance, but they're a foul, so Orlando will get a free kick. But again, Michael Cox, if he was able to keep on his feet, he might have had a chance on goal.
And again, these are the opportunities. I don't think that Orlando is a team that's going to probably build the ball and connect 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 passes together to create a chance. And these fouls in their own end, what it does is give them one ball into the box and a chance. And these are really going to be dangerous situations that Louisville's got to be careful of.
As Ribeiro standing over this one for Orlando. And he will take this one, plays it short. A little bit of a trick play, doesn't pay off. It'll be a Louisville City ball. Louisville City again forced to play it long, thanks to the Orlando pressure. There's Reynolds and Cox again. Reynolds gets the best of him. Now Keegan Smith tried to leave it off to Mendoza.
As this half is going on, it's certainly playing into Orlando's favor, for sure. And you can see little by little they're having more and more chances, more free kicks, more opportunities, and really there hasn't been too much for Louisville. And it's a little bit concerning, I would imagine, for James O'Connor. It's disconcerting right now that they're not having more of the ball.
Of course, there was Dakers coming in late on that challenge from behind, knocking Ambrose clean off the ball. As Turner, he'll take this one, but a bend is there to meet it in the sky. Again, the ball falls back to an Orlando player. I believe Cox would have been offside if he had played that. Of course, Rand Jinsing will wait for the pressure, and he eventually picks it up. Of course, keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about the USL and its 29 teams. As George Davis steps in, lays it off to Lancaster. With 3 men to beat, he'll take the shot, but Ridgers is there as somehow Lancaster getting that one off. He was surrounded by Orlando players.
If in fact that Louisville is going to be playing direct, it's going to be so important that they pick up second balls like this that allow them to get the chances. Their best chances have come off of second balls. Lancaster had one earlier that they got a challenge for the first one, get numbers around it, win the second ball, and then play from there. This is again one of those opportunities that they got to get numbers around it and win these second balls and then play from there.
Again, Chinaski playing the long ball, trying to get it up to Dakers, as a large majority of Louisville City's offense has been along the right side, same as the first half when Mark Anthony Kay was in. They're not looking to change that up. So Lancaster is trying to play it to Dakers, broken up by Orlando. Now Michael Cox picks it up, plays a nice ball in, maybe a chance for Larea, but Rand Jinsing comes up huge, recovers again, the rebound. Not out of danger yet, but Rand Jinsing, huge defense. So now Smith maybe a chance, he's taken down, a nice tackle by Noonan. And now Louisville City maybe getting the counter going as they get it up to Dakers. And he plays it up to Noonan, back to Dakers. He's got space and he's got the wheels to do something with it. plays the ball into Hoffman, can't get it to him. George Davis there in the back of the box, though. Now Hoffman again, and he flicks it over the net. That one never had a chance.
Well, it all starts with a great save by Ranjinsing down there. He does a tremendous job here to make this save. He cuts the angle, and probably should have done better with it. He put it in his wheelhouse in an area where he can make the save, and then from that leads to a counter in the other direction. And again, getting Dakers in space and open. Man, I like those chances for Louisville if they can continue to do that.
As again, unfortunately, Hoffman was unable to do much with the shot, as he hasn't had too many chances. Most of them coming here in this second half, as the first half it was really all Niall McCabe with the shots. And of course, George Davis again heavily involved in the attack. Well, the team with a very different look when you throw Cameron Lancaster in there along with Hoffman and Dakers.
I was hoping to see a good possession there, but an errant ball out of the back. They started to knock it a little bit, get it going side to side, but an errant ball just stopped the chance of them keeping a longer possession, gaining some rhythm.
There's now maybe a chance as Lancaster, and he plays it over to Dakers along this near side. The cross, Lancaster's there, but Ridgers is also there, and he scoops it up as not really more just a rebound off Lancaster's shoe. Is now maybe a chance as Ranjinsing and Michael Cox both going down, and Reynolds also down on the field. And Ridgers, as we'll get another look at that one here in just a moment, as Reynolds not looking too well, as he's definitely holding his side.
You know, one of the dangers of ever getting the ball in the keeper's hands is they're going to knock it, and especially in this situation, 60, 70 yards, which they do here. And you can see Cox wasn't going to get to that. He ends up pushing Reynolds into the keeper and causing the collision there. Certainly, if Cox was getting the yellow, he deserved it because of just giving Reynolds a little extra nudge and causing the collision.
Once again, Ranjinsing was also a little slow. He's got seems to appear a little bit of a limp, but he should be good to go the rest of the game. Reynolds, though, that might TBD on that, is definitely taking his time there, as that was really quite a nasty knock.
There's been a few times it's gotten in Ridgers' hand, and it is pretty clear what they told him at halftime. They said if it gets in your hands, knock the thing forward, and Cox is on his horse, and he's just looking to create something off of the long ball. To his credit, I'll tell you what, it's been dicey a couple of times. Reynolds been very, very effective in diffusing it, but I would expect we're going to see that a few more times this half.
So in the 71st minute here, Louisville City still up 1-0 with a couple of chances here in the second half. But Orlando also with a lot of opportunities. As Lancaster picks it up here off the hustle from Davis. Has one man to beat, but can't get the shot off.
We talked at halftime about winning balls in the attacking half, and their best chances, some of their best chances are coming off of situations just like this, where they're winning it in the attacking half and able to get forward off of it.
As Davis surrounded, and he'll lose it here, as Mendoza plays it with Michael Cox. Michael Cox, nice series of moves there. He's taken down, and that's another yellow card for Louisville City. That one on George Davis, the fourth. Of course, Reynolds picking up that one in the first half. So we'll get a look at that, as he's definitely late there.
It was definitely deserving of a yellow. And again, they got to be careful about giving away free kicks in this part of the field. I think one of the things James O'Connor said is Orlando will be creative on these as well. We saw in the last free kick, they try to slide one right by the wall. They've been known to have some set plays off of these to try to, a little bit of trickery, a little bit of deception, and finding ways to create some chances off of it.
And there was another look at that, a clear, obvious foul from Davis, and no complaints from him for that yellow. We got a couple players lining up over this one for Orlando. A little trickery, that ball played wide, and way too high, as a little too much power on that one. Will be a goal kick to Louisville City.
A wasted chance for the coaches on the sidelines to see that, where you get nothing out of it. That's disappointing at the least.
Again, that's a couple of free kicks here in the second half for Orlando, and they haven't really been able to challenge Louisville too much on them, as they've tried a couple of tricks, but nothing really challenging Rand Ginseng.
And Ginseng continues to hit it to Dacre's side there, and they got to continue to get numbers around it if he's going to be the target. They got to get numbers around it for the second ball so they can win that second ball and then go to goal.
You got to wonder at some time maybe Louisville City changing up strategy just a little bit and start booting it out wide to Davis. That's now Mendoza. He'll cross it in, and Reynolds will hit it. Noonan picking it up. Now to Dakers, and I'll lose that one, but Louisville City not giving up a corner kick, just a throw in. There's Larea. Now a nice ball played by Orlando, broken up by Louisville City, and perhaps a chance for a counter as Dakers stumbles over it a little bit, and now he's surrounded, but he might be able to break free. Doesn't, but he draws the foul as Smith stepping in late.
You know, I don't think that's necessarily a bad tactic on Louisville's part, is to allow them to come a little bit. If you allow Orlando to come a little bit, and maybe they have a little bit more possession, but what happens is now they step up and step high, and now on the counter with guys like Davis and Akers are running, you might open up some space and be able to create even better chances than what they've had off of just kicking it long and looking for second balls.
As it looks like Chandler Hoffman's night is done for Louisville City. He'll be replaced by number 10, Magnus Rasmussen. And of course, Rasmussen is the answer to the ultimate trivia question for Louisville City, he being the first player to score for Louisville City in its history.
I would imagine Lancaster will go high now, and Magnus will come underneath. And again, Lancaster being up a little bit closer to goal, where any ball that comes down, I think he's going to be a danger.
Now off the restarts, Del Piccolo again heads it into a bend, and that one goes out for a goal kick. But a nice ball from Del Piccolo. Of course, Rasmussen is a player last year who was very important to the Louisville attack, as he was the third leading scorer behind both Fondy and Dakers. We'll get another look at that one here. Again, Del Piccolo on a bend there, unable to control it. But Rasmussen, again, that huge player for them last season. This year had an injury coming into the season, and so really late arrival to this year's team. He hasn't been much of a factor of late, a lot of times coming off the bench. So we have Orlando throw in here. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive news and interactive content. Follow @USL on Twitter to keep up with all of the live action during the 2016 US season. And of course, all USL matches are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. Follow the action on the USL YouTube channel.
Louisville just grinding this half out. You know, they're doing what they need to keep the lead, keep the shutout. It hasn't been pretty for them, but you give them credit because they really haven't conceded anything as well. They've bent a few times, but not broken for sure. And Orlando's doing what they need to. They've stopped the rhythm of Louisville, and it's been a game very much in the midfield.
It's been a much more even second half than it was in the first half, as it's not really, neither team's dominating possession at the moment. As Orlando making it difficult for Louisville City to have the long buildup as they're being forced to play deep balls. There's another ball played in as Lancaster was in the vicinity. And it'll go all the way to Ridgers. Again, Ridgers with a couple of huge saves in this game.
I think both keepers have been very solid. The only goal of the game really can't be the fault of the keeper. It was poor marking, and both keepers have stood up and done very well on the evening.
Ambrose. Dacre steps in. Well, Orlando gets it right back as Mendoza plays it back to Ambrose. And Orlando will switch fields as Ribeiro sang it over to the far side. Look at that Turner with a nice series of moves. Up to Smith. And backtracking just a little bit. Just looking for that hole in the Louisville defense. Not there, and Louisville gets it back. Although a nice play by Ribeiro to win it right back. There's a long ball played to Mendoza. The cross off the one touch. Nice ball. And there's an Orlando player knocked off it by Davis. Now back to Ribeiro. Lancaster coming in to help. Now here to Ambrose along the near side. And Del Piccolo steps in, trying to play it up to Dakers.
Those are the balls that when Louisville wins those balls in the midfield, they have to connect that one going forward and be able to get on the counter. That ball by Paolo that he gives right back to him is simply not good enough. They got to be able to connect that one.
And Dakers fouling Orlando there. It's in the 80th minute here. Louisville City still up 1-0. Ambrose playing that up to Cox. Now over to Mendoza here on the near side. A nice short ball to Cox. He holds it up, sends it back, and shot. But George Davis coming up huge. Dove down on the ground, and that takes a deflection. Will go out for a corner kick.
For a weak side midfielder to be in that spot where George was to save that opportunity is impressive, especially this late in the game. I give him a lot of credit for being honest in his defending and being disciplined enough to do that. That could be a game-saving save there for him to come in and be in that spot.
As Ribeiro with the shot attempt. Again, broken up by Davis. This ball sent in. And Reynolds, one in there, was hoping he'd be able to flick it on to Rasmussen and maybe get the counter started. Now working on the far side still. Knocked out of bounds again. It's now Larea.
I think that caught his hand. Ended up relieving a little bit of the pressure for Louisville. They're sustaining it right now. They're under a little bit of pressure, and Orlando's done a pretty good job of swinging it side to side.
And how about that? The attendance for tonight, 8,351 here in Louisville Slugger as they continue to have excellent attendance. Third in the league behind Sacramento and, of course, FC Cincinnati. And last game out for Louisville City at FC Cincinnati, that 2-0 loss was in front of 20,000 people. Absolutely mind-boggling numbers. It's Dakers. He's taken down by Ribeiro.
I think Dakers wanted the foul. He thought he was clipped. Ooh, a little bit extra going on there.
As that might have been a punch thrown, if I'm not mistaken, as it looks like Del Piccolo actually got hit in the face. We're getting another look at that here. So now all the players circling around each other as hopefully things start to settle down as both teams heated at the moment. As the ref will have a lot to think about right now.
It was tough to see what happened from this distance. I'd like to see if they caught it on a replay to see what actually happened.
Should get it here in just a moment as they're getting that one together. And here it is. Again, Dakers, Mendoza involved. Ribeiro coming in late, knocks the ball out of his hand, and there's Mendoza. And I think the Academy Award might go to Del Piccolo and Mendoza.
Perhaps that was from Paolo's theater class at U of L. That he was taking a little bit more.
That was truly excellent. Both players falling back, as we'll get another look at that here. As again, neither player actually making contact with the face, and both falling back in pure agony. The ref making the right call. No cards assessed there, but
I think the official got that one right.
On the restart, a long ball off the free kick played by Orlando. Ended up being a goal kick for Louisville City. Now on the far side. As Ambrose to Mendoza. And a little bit too much trickery there. Backfires for him. And it plays off his boots.
I think here in the last 7+ minutes, Orlando is going to have to press forward a little bit more. And for Louisville, it's the key of just staying disciplined, making sure they're sound and organized defensively.
And there was that type of ball you were talking about. There's Lancaster wins it. Now Rasmussen. Although the numbers not in the favor of Louisville City. But again, that's exactly the play you talked about. The stat you'd like to see is really the best chances for Louisville City have come off of those wins in the middle field.
Yeah, it's so important when you can win the ball in the attacking half. You catch the opposing team usually stretched, and then you have less distance, simply less distance to go to goal, and have a greater chance to create chances.
As Tariq Murad coming into the match, and he's replacing number 5, Connor Shinosky. It's another Louisville City corner kick presented by Falls City Beer. As Del Piccolo sends this one in, gets by everybody. And Orlando a little fortunate that there wasn't a Louisville player waiting outside the box. So the 85th minute here, Louisville City still up 1-0. Although Orlando with a couple of chances, but the Louisville defense not yielding anything. So now Del Piccolo up to Noonan and Abend, and Abend plays it out of bounds.
Tonight's Modelo Man of the Match, voted by you, is number 15, Sean Reynolds.
And the Modelo Man of the Match, as voted by you, the fans, is well-deserved. Sean Reynolds, as he has come up absolutely huge on the defensive side a number of times, preventing Michael Cox to really do anything at all. So now Davis. Surrounded on the sideline, and there's a look at the man of the match.
Louisville City showing some maturity here and composure, and looking like they know how to close out matches.
As Montano heads up play there, sends it into Lancaster. Abend trying to juggle it to himself for the volley. Broken up by Orlando. Davis with a poor touch there. Mendoza playing it back to Ambrose. Ambrose taken down.
I think Ambrose was saved by that foul. He got in a position where he really didn't have too much to do, and the foul bailed him out. He was a bit fortunate there. And now it gives Louisville one ball into the box. They have to defend here, and this is not what they want to see late.
Yeah, we'll get another look at that, and he really had nowhere to go with that ball. Very fortunate Dakers let him off the hook as that one's sent in. As Montaneau was there, and Reynolds actually saves it from being a corner kick, and they'll get possession out of this one.
And that's a massive play. You know, you say for Reynolds, well, not a big deal, but just saving that corner, that's one less ball into the box they have to face, and it's why he's the man of the match. I think he's done a tremendous job, not only in 1v1 defending, but organizing the back and just battling all night long.
Because again, Louisville City will be without him in the next match. Be interesting to see how they handle that, as he's been an important part of the defense this year, as again his speed as a center back and an ability to recover has come up huge multiple times this season, and especially tonight.
Well, especially facing a guy like Cox, who is, you know, his game is all about the physical part of it, of being, you know, big and strong, holding things up, and his pace to be able to stretch the defense. And Reynolds has done a great job of dealing with it all night long.
As Lorea was trying to play that ball to Smith. Broken up by Louisville City, but Orlando will maintain possession. Well, they lose it there, but bail down will be a foul against Louisville City. And again, another chance for Orlando to get a ball into the box.
I'd be a little bit more concerned, but Orlando really hasn't looked too dangerous on any of their free kicks, both by service and having guys in the box.
As Ambrose sends this one in, and again broken up by Louisville City, and got a player down, a little slow to get up. Leave that Montaneau.
They've earned a corner out of it, which gives them another chance, another one in the box.
As we're in the approaching the 90th minute here. Should have probably a minute or two of stoppage time added onto this one. The ball sent in, he slips on the delivery. Actually got an Orlando player just sitting down in the box. But it will be another corner kick for Orlando and another chance.
I think the referee's been pretty consistent about what he's allowed in the box on corners, and I don't think they're going to get a penalty here.
There's again another ball played in, a whistle, and waiting to see what we've got going on here, as I believe the ref pointed to the spot, if I'm not mistaken. We might have a penalty here.
He did call a penalty. He did. He's been pretty consistent all night long. There must have been something in there, because he's been solid in what he's allowed and what he hasn't allowed in the box. So there must have been something there. I'd like to see it on a replay if they caught it, because evidently there was enough there for him to call a penalty.
As we've got a Louisville City player down in the box as well, as here we will get that look. Again, as unfortunately that happened while the ball was in the right when he got the ball off, as that was Montaneau also down. We'll see if we can get a look at the hair, and it looks like it's tough to see.
It looked like Del Piccolo was the one around him, but you never really saw the contact to know what it looked like.
That was a really bizarre play, and I guess we also get a yellow card as well. Not sure who that was addressed to at the moment, as there was a scrum of players still surrounding the ref, and Montaneau still down on the ground. And he's going to have to get subbed out here, as we're in stoppage time right now, but there's sure to be several minutes added on now, as this has been a rather lengthy delay. Montaneau definitely will not be able to continue as the trainer issuing over the sideline that he needs a substitute.
Well, again, I give a lot of credit to Orlando in the second half that they got what they wanted out of it. They disrupted the play of Louisville. Louisville really didn't get anything going, looking for second balls off of the direct play, and then Orlando mounting enough to earn a penalty. And as I said earlier, you know, if you're going to allow those one balls into the box, the free kick wasn't really dangerous, but it led to a corner, which then leads to the penalty. And those one opportunities that you give, the one ball into the box, then becomes all of a sudden an adventure, and it's cost Louisville.
Louisville City still right now in first place, and they would continue to stay in first place if the result holds. As I'm looking up at the scores right now to see what maybe New York's doing, as again they're only a point out of first place. As once it loads the internet. As right now, Richmond Kickers up actually losing that one, 2-1 to the Richmond Kickers is New York Red Bulls 2. So again, Louisville City potentially could gain ground, getting a point out of this one, although right now still up 1-0. Depending on what happens here on this penalty kick, as Tyler Turner has a chance to be a hero for Orlando, as I'm sure every player dreams of this opportunity, a stoppage time penalty kick goal. As waiting for the ref's whistle, Rain Jitsing standing tall in the goal. And here we go, Turner! And he beats Ranjinsing to the far post. And that will tie it up here in Louisville. 1-1. And you got to think there's going to be at least 2-3 minutes added, possibly 4, here in Louisville. But a disastrous result, really, if you're Louisville, to be up 1-0 for so long. But again, as you mentioned, they kept giving them free kicks. They kept giving them corners. And so we'll get another look at it. And that ultimately proved costly.
Ranjinsing, I think, did a good job of reading it and going the right way. Got a hand to it. I think he was probably a little bit disappointed he didn't get more to it. But in the end, it hits the back of the net. Now it's even. Equalizer's there. And there's still hope. But again, I give Orlando a lot of credit in the second half of doing what they wanted to do to get a result.
That was that second angle there of the goal from Tyler Turner off the penalty. Again, Ranjinsing did indeed get a hand on it, but just not enough to prevent it from going in. So a well-taken penalty kick by Turner. As it's Orlando ball again. And Mendoza, Ambrose will take this throw in. Again in Louisville territory. It's really the last 10 minutes or so has been pretty much all Orlando.
Louisville's got to be careful not to lose their discipline and give up a winner here.
As that would be the worst result imaginable for Louisville, as now they have a chance to stay ahead of New York by a decent bit, as they'll now be, if this result holds, will be up 2 points clear of New York. Although again, they would have really loved to have that 3 points and move to 4 points clear. Number 54, Keegan Smith, gets a yellow card. That ball played in the box. Ridgers is down. A chance maybe for Louisville City, but cleared. Again, the Orlando defense, and now here's Michael Cox. He's got room. Reynolds, his nemesis. And he plays that ball up. Back to Smith. And that just did it. Orlando City might win this one 2-1 as the Louisville defense unorganized there in the back. And my goodness, what a turn of events
I was just saying that they had to stay disciplined in the back, and they got caught on the counter. Cox ends up turning and running out the defense, and what an individual play by Larray at the end to create a chance. And again, I'm disappointed in Louisville that they weren't a little bit more disciplined, and one not only closing the game out, but then giving up the second goal as well.
There's Keegan Smith actually on the goal there, and in that moment, Dakers had a chance, and Ridger saving it, and I believe that's the final whistle there. And the boos raining in from the crowd here in Louisville, and O'Connor out on the field now, as all of the players curious why there wasn't more time on the clock.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was ever given how much of extra time there was. I was going to ask you just a few minutes earlier if you had seen how many extra time he was given, but it isn't clear, and obviously the Louisville City players feel like there should have been more.
As unfortunately for Louisville City, as somehow they had this game all wrapped up. As we'll actually get a look at that last goal here. Again, this is the clincher as Larrea, the excellent individual play, plays it to Keegan Smith. And that one goes in as Michael Cox was there. And O'Connor still wanting to talk the refs as they're trying to leave the field, and still furious over the final result and not having more stoppage time.
Yeah, I think there's some frustration by James, certainly by the clock, but I think by the way they've handled the last little bit. I think he's going to be frustrated with his group and them giving up an equalizer late and then losing the discipline and allowing them to get the winner. So I think the frustration is directed at the officials now, but I think once they get into the locker room and this week, I think they'll talk about how they handled the end of the game.
As that should do it from here in Louisville, as don't go away, as Orlando City B winning this one 2-1 very late in the match against Louisville City, as we'll have second half highlights and a final analysis from what we just witnessed here in Louisville Slugger Field. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more.
Stretched out to the middle, back to
Broken up. There's a shot. They score! They score! Bernardo Forbes. It's in! Rochester has lead in the game in seconds.
Welcome back here into Louisville Slugger Field as Orlando City B, I'm still in shock as they just beat Louisville City FC 2-1. And I'm Jim Wamba, once again joined by the University of Louisville men's head coach Ken Lola. I don't even really know what to say. What I just witnessed, the last 10 minutes of the game, Orlando, that's where Orlando won this one.
Well, I give them credit because they came out with a game plan in the second half, and that was to disrupt the play of Louisville. They had no rhythm in the second half and made it difficult on them to play. Louisville had to play direct and really only out of that created a couple of half chances. And Orlando put themselves in a position where at the end of the game, they had a chance. And the corner, the penalty, threw them a lifeline. And not only did they get a point out of it, but they ended up rescuing 3 points, which was pretty incredible based on how the game was going.
And again, this is why I love soccer. A game like this, when you think it's over, 1-0, Louisville City's up 1-0 in the 88th minute, and then all of a sudden the tables turn. They get that first goal off the penalty kick, and again, that was a very bizarre sequence as well. And then the second goal off of a broken play by Louisville City, and Orlando just pounced on the opportunity.
Well, again, Orlando was dangerous on the counter all night long. I thought Louisville got a little bit undisciplined at the end going for the win, left themselves a little bit exposed, and Orlando took advantage of it. A couple of good movements by Cox and then Larea, and a good finish off the end. And I think not only was everybody in the stands surprised, but I thought Louisville City and James O'Connor, and it showed in how the game ended at the end, a little bit of frustration, and I'm sure they're all going to be disappointed. But the one thing I'm sure about with James O'Connor and Louisville City is they're going to bounce back and be better because of it.
And, of course, Louisville City bailed out by New York Red Bulls, too. They lost as well, so Louisville City still maintains that 1-point lead, which might come up huge as the season goes on. Again, Orlando City B moving on. That's 8 straight games now unbeaten as they've got a nice little streak of their own. As coach, it was a fun one tonight, but now we're going to take a look here at the second half highlights. And my goodness, what a second half it was. As again, there's Del Piccolo sending a nice ball in, and a bend was there, but unfortunately for Louisville City, not able to do anything. And there's, again, Sean Reynolds was the man of the match, and he gave Michael Cox all kinds of problems as he guided that ball in there. And, of course, you actually saw there Ranjitsingh gave a nice little shove to Michael Cox, letting him know he was still there. Now here's George Davis and Montano working together, and a beautiful ball played in, and Dakers had a chance but unable to settle it, and Hoffman was also there. And again, George Davis and then a bend had a chance from distance, but again, unable to put it on frame. And George Davis, guy's name we called all game long, was a huge factor in the first half. Actually led to that first goal, and now Dakers, the guy that came in the second half, a beautiful ball played in, and Montano throwing everybody off, even Hoffman, as he's unable to settle it. And then again is Cameron Lancaster off of a broken play in the middle of the field, scooped it up and charged downfield and had himself a chance. Now here's Michael Cox and David Larea and Ranjitsingh coming up huge there, as he did a number of times in the second half. There's Davis again, trying to work with Hoffman, who really didn't get his name called too many times. Not too many chances on net, and here was the penalty itself. Tyler Turner sending this one in the back of the net, even though Ranjitsingh got a hand on it, and you could see it in his face, a little frustration, as he knew he might have done a little better, as then again Turner beating Ranjitsingh, but he did get that hand on it, but just not enough to push it outside. And this was very late in the game. This one here in the 89th, 90th minute. And here was the moment as Larea plays it back to Keegan Smith, and he sends it home, and that one giving them the 2-1 win here at Slugger. As again, another look at it, Larea, a nice play and a better shot by Keegan Smith. Maybe fortunate that Michael Cox was standing where he was, kind of blocked the vision of the keeper. And that would be all here from Louisville Slugger Field, as again, I'm still bewildered at what I just saw. And I said this just a moment ago, Louisville City very fortunate that New York Red Bulls 2 also losing 2-1 to the Richmond Kickers, so they maintain their hold on first place in the league. Well, that'll do it from here for Coach Ken Lola, the Turbo Sport Producing Group. I'm Jim Womble. So long until next time.